Sup, so I've wanted to try out Audeze's gaming headsets for a while now. I have a beginner's understanding of the audiophile hobby, and Audeze is a name that constantly comes up when talking about headphones worth paying attention to. The other reason I wanted to try an Audeze headset is because of the planar drivers. Planar drivers deliver a unique sound, and they're considered by many to be in a class of their own when it comes to immersion. Now, I finally got my hands on their latest model, the Maxwell, and spoiler, they didn't disappoint on the audio front. I haven't heard anything else in the gaming space quite like them. I'm not convinced they'll be for everyone, but stick around and I'll tell you why. Alrighty, technical specs. The Maxwell is very different from every other headset that I've reviewed. Let's start with the drivers. These are 90mm planar magnetic drivers, which differ significantly from the typical dynamic drivers that you'll find in most other headsets. The frequency response is super wide too, at 10Hz to 50kHz. Battery life is an immense 80 hours, and it has a fast charge that will give you 2 hours off a 20-minute charge. They weigh in at 490 grams, which is a lot, and I'll explain why later on. For wireless, the Maxwell has Bluetooth 5.3, and this supports a variety of codecs, including multipoint, LDAC, AAC, and SBC. It also has a wireless dongle that uses not Bluetooth. I'm honestly not sure what witchcraft it's using, but the range is pretty ridiculous. Audeze claims it's 3 times that of regular 2.4 GHz, which would be something like 30 meters or 90 feet. I don't have a measuring wheel, but yeah, the range is huge. There's no escaping that this is a big heavy pair of cans, and that's kind of unavoidable with planar drivers because they're inherently big and heavy. By comparison, the Nova 7 looks absolutely minuscule sitting next to them. Along with the massive drivers, the headband and yokes are made out of aluminium, but surprisingly the Maxwell doesn't feel like a half kilo on your head. I can wear these all day without there being any clamping pressure and only minimal pressure from the headband. Still, if you need a light portable headset, then you can rule these out. I wouldn't recommend these for taking on the go because they'll fall off easily if you move around enough. This is definitely a headset that's best enjoyed while stationary. The ear cups create a very effective seal that not only helps them sound as good as they do, it also means that the passive noise cancelling is really powerful. I haven't used another headset that blocks out ambient noise like these do. This does unfortunately mean that they're not the coolest headset to wear for prolonged periods. The other thing to bear in mind in regards to comfort is the shallowness of the ear cups. At just over 20mm deep, my ears touch the inside mesh. Now, I don't have an issue with this, but I know that some people do, and having bigger ears than me is not exactly a hard competition to win, so just bear this in mind. All of the controls are on the left ear cup. You have a power button, a game and chat mix dial, a volume dial, a noise reduction button for the microphone, and a mute switch. You also have the USB-C input, mic input, and the auxiliary input on the left ear cup. I'm guessing the reason they're all on the left has something to do with where all of this is processed inside the headset. It does make finding the dials more challenging than it should be, especially because the dials are quite small. The dials have additional functionality baked into them too. For example, a single press allows you to skip forward and backwards between tracks, and a double press lets you switch between the EQ presets. Actually, with the exception of the mute switch, all of the buttons are multifunction. It's not a bad way to reduce the number of buttons on the headset, although larger dials might have made navigating the submenus a bit easier. You get nice clear voice prompts through the ear cups when you change settings, and making changes on the headset while you're using them is pretty straightforward once you memorize where everything is. The battery life is massive, and the fast charge feature means that running out of power will not be something you need to worry about. It will automatically power down if there isn't an audio source too. Unlike some other headsets though, you need to manually turn them back on. There's no whiz-bang tech to auto power on. Overall, it's solid, well built, and feels like a proper premium product. The Maxwell does support simultaneous audio playback from multiple connections. How this works can be a bit confusing, so here's how the priority for the various audio connections breaks down. The auxiliary connection has first priority, and it'll work simultaneously with a Bluetooth connection. So you can listen to 2 sources at the same time or swap between sources without needing to press a button. On the Xbox, PC, and Mac, Bluetooth has the next priority. So if you have the dongle plugged in and another device connected via Bluetooth, the Bluetooth signal will interrupt the dongle when the headset detects audio being passed through Bluetooth. As soon as the headset detects no audio from Bluetooth, it will automatically swap back to the dongle. So this means that while you can have the dongle and the Bluetooth connected at the same time, they don't work simultaneously. On the PS5, it's the other way around. The dongle has priority over Bluetooth. If you're using the dongle and have it connected via Bluetooth to a phone, you can receive a call and get notification sounds. It just won't let you play any other kind of audio. Again, this means that the dongle and Bluetooth don't work simultaneously. Finally, the lowest priority is the wired USB connection. Like the auxiliary connection, this also works simultaneously with Bluetooth, allowing you to listen to two sources at the same time. Now, if that didn't confuse you, well, it has Bluetooth multipoint as well. This allows you to connect two Bluetooth devices at the same time and swap instantly between them or have both playing at once. This doesn't seem to work when using the dongle though. You can only have it connected to the dongle and one additional Bluetooth device. While it does have dual connectivity, it isn't nearly as flexible as some other headsets, and hopefully Audeze can improve how this works down the line. As far as compatibility is concerned, the Maxwell works with Xbox, PC, Mac, PS5 and the Switch. And there are two versions of this headset, a PlayStation version and an Xbox version, and both of them work with PC and Mac. The Xbox version is slightly more expensive, although it comes with an Atmos license. Okay, technically there are 3 versions of this headset as of the making of this video. There's also the Ultraviolet edition. This is a limited edition of the Xbox version for Xbox's Summer Collection thingo. It's the same headset though, just super shiny. Okay, I know most of you are hanging out to find out what they sound like. Put simply, there isn't another headset that sounds like the Maxwell. The depth and thickness of the sound, I'm not sure that's a technical term, is really incredible. This isn't a clinical or neutral sounding headset at all. The soundstage is pretty good, although it doesn't compete with open back headsets like the H6 Pro, mainly because they're closed back and also because this is the one area where dynamic drivers typically have an edge. It blows any other closed back headset that I've heard clean out of the water in this area though. They deliver an incredibly immersive and meaty sound with amazing bass extension and good imaging. I was worried that they wouldn't perform well for competitive games and specifically first-person games, but this just wasn't the case. I think they're especially fantastic for racing games that benefit from the thunderous bass to make engine sounds visceral and honestly a little terrifying. This is without question the best closed-back headset I've heard to date. This is also an outstanding headset for listening to music, and nothing I've tried in the gaming space remotely comes close to the Maxwell in this area either. Massive Attack's Unfinished Sympathy, which is a track that sounds pretty ordinary with a lot of good sounding headphones and IEMs I own, sounds incredible. And it's not just electronic music that benefits, everything I've thrown at it sounds great. Now, just due to the nature of how they sound, I wanted a bit more bass out of the default tuning. Not that it doesn't have enough bass, it's just so delicious that I wanted a bit more, and thankfully there's a selection of presets to choose from already on the headset. There are all the typical ones you'd expect to find, such as bass and treble boosts and competitive EQs to make hearing other players easier. Now, if you're not content with Audeze's EQ presets, then the software, which is both PC and Mac, allows you to create your own to save onto the headset. The software has a couple of other sliders to play with, such as the game and chat mix levels and the time before they auto shut down. It's very simple, but it's easy and fast to operate, and I had no issues with connecting the headset and updating the firmware. Just a pro tip, if you're updating the firmware, you have to do it for both the dongle and the headset. If you only do one of them, they won't talk to each other and you'll freak out like I did and think it's broken. Like all headsets, it's a good idea to update the firmware to get things like improvements to the sound quality. The only thing that sucks is that updating the firmware wipes your custom EQ presets. Now, there's a companion app as well, which is again very straightforward, allowing you to do just about everything the PC and Mac software lets you do. I think every headset in this price point should have a companion app. Being able to change the EQ settings on the headset is great. I just think the ability to do this using an app, particularly when it comes to customizing EQ settings, is super convenient.
Like with all wireless headset microphones, this isn't going to compete with a wired mic, and this is what you're listening to right now. That said, I think it's a pretty damn good one. A lot of people complain about headset mics sounding tinny or washed out, and this is the least washed out headset mic I've heard yet. One really cool feature is that the noise cancelling for the mic is built into the headset, unlike basically everything else which relies on companion software to handle it. It's really good too. Here's what it sounds like with the sound of a chainsaw playing at a very loud volume in the background. And here's what it sounds like when you turn the noise cancelling on. So it should handle unwanted background noises like a loud TV or screaming children.
The Maxwell wasn't designed with the average gamer in mind. It doesn't have lights or come in a range of loud colours, and it's much heavier than its rivals. It doesn't sound like other headsets either, and if you remove the mic, it doesn't even look like a gaming headset. The Maxwell was designed for people who want a premium audio experience, and not just good audio, the unique experience that only planar drivers can deliver. There are better headsets in this price bracket if you want more features, and there are lighter headsets that are more practical. And at $499 Australian or $299 US for the PlayStation version, they might seem expensive when looking at other brands. I haven't tried anything that comes close to this level of audio quality in a wireless headset though, and I think they destroy similar priced wireless headphones too. If a premium audio experience is what you want, and not just for gaming, then the Audeze Maxwell should definitely be part of your setup. If you're a fellow Aussie and want to pick up a pair, check out Addicted to Audio's website. And no, this is not an affiliate thing. It'll just save you paying international shipping.